What's up, guys? This is Boondocks, and today I want to talk about using Latron Prime as a crit weapon. With that being said, you first have to decide how you want to build it as a crit weapon. And in all honesty, I've been feeling it works about the same whether you use an Argon Scope or not. The main difference, however, is I find that when you can't guarantee that you're going to get those headshots every time, not having the Argon Scope is going to be more beneficial. And because of that, I'd almost feel like leaving it off. The reason being for this is if we look, the Latron Prime only has 15% starting crit. So that means that when you put on most of your mods for just doing pure crit, for instance, Point Strike, I'm only going to get to 37.5. Even if I were to put on a max critical delay, it would only go up to 44.7. When I do get a headshot with Argon Scope, that's going to add, what is it? 20.25? Yeah, 20.25% more crit. So that's going to bring your total up to 57.75. Let me double check to make sure that's the correct math. I don't want to be misleading. Yes, 57.75. So, with that being said, is 20% crit really worth not having on another elemental mod? I mean, that's 20% more chance of critting versus a 90% damage increase for elemental damage, or maybe putting on a piercing caliber, something like that. Of course, you know, I would need to put on another forma and so forth, but really that's your call. The issue here is the critical chance isn't high enough for Argon Scope to really take major effect, and because of that, you need to 100% guarantee that you'd have your Argon Scope buff up at all times, and because of that, I would actually recommend using a build similar to what I currently have here, where I'm going to be using Vital Senses, Point Strike, and Hammer Shot as my crit mods, and that's it. No Argon Scope or critical delay. The reason you do want Hammer Shot along with Vital Senses is because that's how you can get up to that 7.0 times multiplier. And of course, if I were to toss another forma or two on here, I would like to probably put on a third element instead. Probably like another cryo round, or worst case scenario, just put on, you know, a high voltage or max malignant force. Something like that. So because of that, let's take a quick look, however, and see that the Latron is pretty good at killing enemies all the same. So first we're going to use the non-Argon Scope build and go kill the enemy twice. It's going to be a level 100 Corrupted Heavy Gunner. The first time I'm going to kill him, it's going to be using headshots. And headshots only. So let's get those headshots going. You do want to fire somewhat slow with the Latron, because it actually has insane accuracy. As you can see, the bullets landed the exact same spot each time. There's no drift. It's pinpoint. But as soon as you start firing more rapidly, that's when you're going to get that recoil going. So because of that, a more slow but steady firing rate is probably the way to go. So if you didn't really check because I was talking, it took 13 shots of shooting him purely in the head in order to bring that enemy down using the non-Argon Scope build. So now let's go for pure body shots. This will obviously take longer. So that was 30 rounds. That was another 9 rounds, so 39 rounds to kill him with body shots alone. So now let's put on the Argon Scope build, which does just a little bit less damage, does have a better status chance, and will have more crit, because even during the body shot section, I will still proc the Argon Scope. One thing to note, however, is again, you could use a fully powered mod here if you use the proper forma, which I did not. So let's go check this sucker out. Hang on, this was the Argon Scope, right? Make sure. Yes, it was. Okay, sorry about that. Alrighty, so let's toss out the orb, get them all stunned, and this will be the headshot setup. So it took about the same. It took maybe one more extra shot, I think, in all honesty. So take it or leave it. That could be split chamber chances, plus, you know, you're still missing some of that crit chance 100%. There's a lot of interplay there. Even status chance procs. So now let's simulate it one more time. And this time let's go for pure body shots using only the head to proc Argon Scope. So pop. Alright, that's 15. You know what? I think he's going to die first this time. Yep. Alright, so that took 32 versus 39. I mean, that was a perfect setup. That he was taking the bleed from Slash. I got a couple of those procs off on him. So take it or leave it, whether you want to go with Argon Scope or without Argon Scope. The Latron definitely is a good crit weapon. And that's due purely to its multiplier. So until next time, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and peace.